C# provides many operators. Many of them are supported by the built-in types and allow you to perform operations with values of those types. In this lesson, we'll look at the 5 groups of C# operators. The 5 groups are the following: arithmetic operators, comparison operators, Boolean logical operators, bitwise and shift operators, and equality operators. The goal of this lesson is to learn the most common operators. It helps you understand the code that you will see in real-world projects. We are not going to learn about rarely seen operators. First, let's learn about arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators operate on number types. One of the most seen operators is the increment operator ++, which increments its operand by 1. The counterpart of the increment operator is the decrement operator -, which lowers its operand by 1. One word of caution here: those operators can be written in front or after the variable it operates on. If we put it after, the value will be used and then incremented. If we put it before, the value will be incremented and used thereafter. Look at the following examples and their output in the console. In the first example, we set the value of the variable a to 7. We then set the value of the variable b to the value of a and increment a. The result is that variable a is incremented to 8, but variable b got the value before a was increased, which is 7. In the second example, we set the value of the variable c to 7 again. This time, we decrement the value before we assign it to d. The result is that both variables contain the value 6. Next, we have the 4 basic arithmetic operations. In C#, we use a plus sign for plus, the minus sign for minus, the star for multiplication, and the slash for division. Remember that for integer divisions, precision can be lost if the resulting value needs rounding. The operators are the same for integral and floating point number types. If we want to change the precedence of operators, we can use round brackets to group the calculation we want to perform first. If you want to learn more about arithmetic operators, for example division by 0 or overflows, read the official documentation. Comparison operators compare 2 values and determine if the comparison is true or false. There are greater than, less than, greater or equal than, less or equal than comparisons. All integral and floating point numeric types support the 4 comparison operators. There are 3 groups of Boolean logical operators. We're going to explore 2 of those groups in this lesson. Let's start with a simple operator, the not operator. Using an exclamation mark, we can negate the value of a Boolean expression. For example, we have a variable with the value false and use the not operator to turn it into true. It also works the other way around. The conditional logical and or operators form the second group of Boolean logical operators. They are expressed using a double ampersand for the conditional AND operator and a double pipe for the OR operator. If both operands are true, the AND operator returns true, otherwise false. The OR operator is true when one or both operands are true and is false when both operands are false. We have a bool variable is Wednesday with the value true and then is weekend variable with the value false. The first statement will return false because only one of the operands is true. However, the second statement will return true since one of the operands is true. Logical AND represented with a single ampersand, logical OR represented with a single pipe, and the logical exclusive OR operators are rarely used and not part of this lesson. You can look them up in the documentation if needed. Bitwise operations and shift operations are used in a particular scenario. For example, in hardware programming with restricted devices, you can save memory using bitwise operations. However, this topic is very specific, and since we want to learn the fundamentals of C#, we skip those operators in this lesson. Regardless, equality operators are very commonly used, and there are only two operators in this group. We have a double equal sign for the equals operator and an exclamation sign followed by an equal sign for the not equals operator. We have three variables and three equality comparisons. First, we check if the myLuckyNumber variable is not equal to 5. Since the value is initialized with 16, the not equals operator will return true. The second comparison checks if myLuckyNumber is equals to 16. This time, the equals operator will return true. We can also compare strings using the equality operators. The last statement of this example shows an equality operator between the myname and the myCountry string variables. The expected output for this statement is false. There is no chance we could explore all operators in depth in this lesson. However, from my experience, I can tell you now know what you need to make your first steps as a .NET developer. This lesson is very technical and you don't have to memorize it all. You can always come back and rewatch it. You'll use operators in your first project at the end of this module. That said, if you want to learn more about C# operators, follow the official documentation and learn as needed.